All right, what's up, guys? It's Austin and Dev. We're back here, and we're gonna be kind of talking about the college football playoff games that took place the past 2 days today. So we're gonna start with kind of like the best one of like the past 2 days, in our opinion. Georgia, Ole Miss. Ole Miss beats Georgia 39-34. Immediate thoughts on that so far?
I want to say that was some of the best football I've watched in a long time. I think that game is a classic in everyone's eyes, and just another great Sugar Bowl. Um, Ole Miss is doing it without Lane Kiffin, and they're just moving right along with Pete Golding. I want to say that I think Chambliss played out of his mind, Lacey played out of his mind. Just the Georgia D and the Ole Miss D were both just getting at it. The trenches were getting after it. Just amazing football game overall.
Yeah, so this game was probably one of the games that I was like, I really thought Georgia was just going to win this one, like, and comfortably. Well, not
Hmm.
comfortably, but like I was thinking, Georgia wins this one like 31-21, something like that. And after the first half, I mean, Georgia goes up 21-6. Ole Miss gets the late first half touchdown, so it's 21-12 at halftime. I'm like, okay, second half, Georgia's going to press it on, and the score's going to end
Right.
up being maybe Ole Miss gets another touchdown field goal, but this game's over. Like I really thought the first quarter Georgia came out slow, but if you looked at every other team of the top
Hmm.
four who had byes, they all came out slow, which we'll get into that,
Right.
but outside of Indiana. But they're just an anomaly for all of college football with everything they do. But I was like, you know, I really was like, Georgia had this, and in the first half, it was a tough physical game. Even though it didn't seem low scoring, one of Georgia's touchdowns were a defensive touchdown. So really,
Right.
they had 14 offensive points at halftime, which in this kind of era of college football, that's kind of low scoring.
Right.
So it was, I mean, I was shocked. And I mean, to beat Georgia, I mean, to beat a Kirby Smart defense, it's kind of similar to you need someone like Trinidad Chambliss. For example, like
Hmm.
Johnny Manziel beating the Kirby Smart, Nick Saban, Bama defenses, Deshaun Watson, like something, a crazy performance like that.
I mean, yeah, the offense played out of his mind. Um, I just the ability of Trinidad Chambers to create like offense out of nothing when he's getting chased around the field. He was looking like Prime Russ out there, just running evading the pass rush. He was just creating opportunities where like most quarterbacks where they couldn't make them. Like just finding something, whether it was a check down or he was throwing lasers across the field. Um, and he was just absolutely playing out of his mind.
Oh, 100%. And I think, you know, I like you look at the quarterbacks of this draft, everyone's talking about Mendoza and they're like maybe Dante Moore comes out. Dude, I think Trinidad Chambliss needs to get some kind of like hype or something. I mean,
Hmm.
dude, if he's not the quarterback for Ole Miss, Georgia, I think, runs away with that game.
I think so too. And especially at the end of the game when like the last quarter of the drive when got it was Georgia was down, I believe, like what 6 points or a
Mhm.
touchdown, and it was on Gunnar Stockton to drive down the field and win this game. They had like a minute or two left, and I personally thought that they got bailed out. Like most of that last
Oh, the
drive
missed
by
face mask?
penalties,
Yeah.
missed face mask, and then the Georgia offense I think got bailed out with like three pass interference calls to get a chance to win the game. And the Ole Miss D, just kept getting after Gunnar Stockton. If um, and this is to speak to Chambliss's ability.
hmm
I think, yeah.
Yeah, I mean, it's just, and I think Trinidad Chambliss was affecting Kirby Smart's decision making. I mean, they went for it on 4th and 2. They didn't get it, but they went like Georgia went for it on 4th and 2 at their own like 25-yard line or something like that, and almost just kind of walked in for a touchdown after that. And it was just like when Ole Miss went up 10 or like I think like 9 points, I think it was like when they got that touchdown, Georgia came right back at theirs and they tied the game up. I'm like,
Hmm.
okay, it's 25 seconds left. Like I was like, okay, it's probably gonna go to overtime. And then he just makes just like the play of like probably the play of the year, honestly. And I mean, and Georgia had all the momentum on their side to that point. I mean, they
Yes,
had
they
Gunnar
did.
Stockton playing out of their mind. They had that crazy, like the fake punt. Like they had everything, the momentum in Trinidad
Hmm.
Chambliss. I mean, it speaks volume to him. And like, I mean, he's gonna have his hands full against Miami. I just checked. Miami's a 3.5 point favorite right now against Ole Miss.
Okay.
But I mean that's going to be an interesting matchup because they're just so opposite. But I mean, this game, I mean, this was the game. Like I really thought, in my opinion, I thought this was going to be the second worst game out of the four. I figured Indiana would beat Alabama pretty good, not that good, but I was like, I just thought, Georgia runs away with this one. I'm like, if Ole Miss couldn't beat Georgia with Lane Kiffin, they can't. No disrespect to Pete Golding, but it's just like,
Right. And I think Pete Golding did an amazing job. This was his first game coming out, and he was out there calling the defense to nails. Perfectly, he was just perfectly matching the offensive game plan that Georgia was putting out there,
hmm
getting key stops multiple times throughout the game.
hmm And it's also just like just to bring up one more point about this game, how important home field advantage is. Because in Athens, Georgia won this game by 8 points. If this is in Athens, this might be, I'm not saying it's Ole Miss doesn't still win, but I mean,
You never know. This was a close game
yeah,
on both sides,
yeah.
through and through. So
hmm So I mean, that was a fantastic game. Next game, I want to get to I mean, sorry, Miami 24, Ohio State 14. Probably what people would say is the biggest upset. Um,
hmm
on the week on ABL when I did my playoff predictions. I think I said, Ohio State, I thought Ohio State would beat Miami, but I thought it'd be really close. Like I thought it was going to be like a 13-10, 17-14 type game, which it kind of was, but
I honestly, I didn't see Miami winning this game, and this is all the more credit to Miami, and especially the defense who kind of played out of their mind. Um, this is a really slow game for offense on both sides of the ball. Um, I personally didn't get a chance to watch too much of this game, but again, Miami is looking a little more dangerous than I initially thought. And I want to speak to like the three the 3 week break that the Ohio took, and I guess it affected them a little more than I thought it would have. They just came out really slow with this game, so.
hmm yeah, and I think, Miami's defensive line, I mean, it is incredible. I mean,
Hmm.
they got NFL players all over the defensive line and offensive line. If they were gonna beat Ohio State, this was gonna be the way they did. Even though Ohio State's got NFL players, but like Miami, the defensive ends, Ruben Bain, he was bullying the tackle.
Oh yeah,
Like, I mean, the Ohio State offensive line was getting bullied. I mean, you can't really blame Julian Sain because he had no time to throw.
I you know the trenches just outright won this game for Miami, and they were just out there. Um, just wreaking havoc on Ohio State. Just
hmm
like I said, like the offense really just could never get going in this game.
Yeah. And I have a question. If I would have told you before this game, Carson Beck only had 138 pass yards and no touchdowns, what would you have thought? Like before the game, if
Or
I just told you that stat. And Julian Sain had 287 pass yards.
like I said, like both defenses were playing well. I believe Carson Beck did throw a touchdown in the game, but to win the game 24-14, and not even throwing 150 yards, uh, it really just speaks to the
Yeah, that's my
defense's
bad. He had a
ability.
touchdown. Yeah, he went
Yeah,
19 of 26, 138 yards and a touchdown. And Julian Sain went 22 of 35, 287 touchdown, two interceptions. I think one of the interceptions like last second. And also another kind of like stat too. What if I also told you before the game? What if you didn't know anything before the game, but all you knew was Jeremiah Smith had 7 catches, 157 yards, and a touchdown?
I I would say that's incredible. Jeremiah's stat to get 157 yards um, out of a total 287 is like incredible.
Yeah, and it's just like if you would have just heard the yardage for both quarterbacks and the yardage for Jeremiah Smith, and I think Tony for Miami barely had like any yards. Um, Yeah, he had 5 receptions, 16 yards. But yeah, if I would have told you Miami's top receiver had 16 yards, Ohio State's top had 157, Ohio State's QB had 287, Miami had 138. I mean, I personally would have thought, oh wow, Ohio State was able to score on them. Ohio State, like
Yeah,
without seeing the turnovers or anything. But
yeah.
Miami just simply out physicaled them. I mean, as of right now, I think Miami beats Ole Miss. I mean, because in the first round, I thought Miami would beat Texas A&M. That was like my favorite pick. That was probably the pick I
Hmm.
was the second most confident in the first round. Like out of all the spreads, everything, I was obviously Oregon JMU. I was confident in Oregon winning. I didn't really have a feel on Ole Miss Tulane only because that was the first game. And I was like, I
Hmm.
figured Tulane could cover. But I was like, because there's always an upset in the first round. I was like, okay, Miami's gonna beat A&M. I personally wasn't high on A&M. Like those just
No,
kind of
I wasn't
debated
either.
Texas A&M real fast. So before the season, I picked them to make the playoffs because I looked at their
Right.
schedule, and at the time, I was like, they got three tough games. I sorry, four tough games. At the time, they had LSU, Florida, Notre Dame, um, and Texas. Like at those times, those are their only
Hmm.
four tough games. 'Cause I didn't buy the South Carolina hype. And I was like, if they go 2-2 in those, they win. And I wasn't too out on LSU. I thought they'd go, 8-4, 9-3. I was like, you know what? I'll give A&M the LSU win. And I was like, I'll give A&M the whatchamacallit win. The Florida win because it was in Texas A&M. And I was like, they
Right.
could lose to Notre Dame and Texas and still be in because a 10-2 SEC team gets in. And, but the more the season went on, I was like, I I didn't get it. Like I don't get why. And once they lost to Texas, who kind of looking back on it, obviously they were up against Miami again in the playoff, and Miami obviously should have gotten in over them. But I
Hmm.
mean, you just kind of like, man, what could Texas done in the playoff? I mean, Arch Manning playing great.
I mean, they beat Michigan. He played outstanding
Yeah.
in the game. Michigan, I believe he had four touchdowns, like 150 rush yards, like over 250 passing yards, just playing out of his mind.
So yeah, it was just Miami, I think they beat Ole Miss and go to the championship because I just don't think Ole Miss has the linemen to compete with Miami. I mean, they have the running backs, the receivers, the quarterback, and if Ole Miss beats Miami, it's going to be similar to this game. It's going to be because Trinidad
It's
Chambliss makes
Trinidad Chambliss.
yeah. But going back to
Yeah.
Miami and Cristobal, when he left Oregon, everyone was like, "Oh, dude, Oregon's done." And Dan Lanning comes to Oregon, and Oregon is better than they were under Cristobal. And going into this
Yes.
year, I had a little doubt about Cristobal because I was like, why is Oregon better now than they were with him? And then all of a sudden he goes to Miami and he has more access to that SEC territory. I mean,
Oh yeah.
because with Oregon, you know, they reminded me a lot of the Mark Richt Georgia teams where they had a lot of NFL players, but they could never do anything major in the postseason. Like they were never going to win a national championship in a Cristobal, stuff like that.
Hmm.
But they always had NFL guys. I mean, Panay Sewell, Justin Herbert, um, Javon Holland, just to kind of name like the big ones.
Right.
And they got, DeForest Buckner, like Arik Armstead. They got some linemen in the NFL, and that's kind of a
Hmm.
credit to Cristobal and Kayvon Thibodeau as well, like top 10 pick. So I was like, they always had players, they just were never able to, make the playoff or win. And they would beat some good teams. Like they beat Ohio State in 2021. They dominated USC. They would beat Washington. But I was like, you know, I never like when Miami hired Chris Paul, I thought it was a great hire, but I was like, I don't know. And I think Miami looks like what Cristobal envisions his football teams because this is year 4 for him now. So this is all his
Hmm.
players now. Um, so I mean, this Miami team. I mean, if this is what Miami looks like for years to come, it's not
I
going to be
think it's
fun.
gonna be dangerous.
Yeah, it's not
Yeah.
going to be fun for the ACC and even the SEC too. Um, so any more thoughts about this Miami Ohio State game before we transition?
Um, I think Miami is going to be good for a long time. Not too many other thoughts. I think this is nice to have a college football playoff with, no Alabama, no Georgia, no Ohio State, no Michigan, like all these big names that we've seen really kind of dominate the landscape for the last few years. Um, it's nice to see some parity in the playoff this year.
Mhm. All right, so staying on the subject of Alabama and parity, Indiana I mean, they crush Alabama 38-3.
Hmm.
So I turned this game off in the third quarter when it was like 24-3, like 24 nothing. I mean, I'm gonna like here's the thing. I expected Indiana to win. I didn't understand the people saying, "Oh,
Yes,
maybe Bama covers," but I didn't expect Indiana to win like this.
I didn't either. I kind of thought, Alabama was a little bit fraudulent going to this postseason, especially and just because they've had a lot of losses. Uh, just not the same Alabama team that we've seen under Nick Saban playing it far out and simple. Um, I also had Indiana winning this game, but they came out and they came out hot, especially with the defense and the trenches were just running over Alabama in this game. Fernando Mendoza also had a great game. This he was just throwing accurate, good passes, just making good decisions throughout the whole game. I believe he only like passed like what like 16 times for 3 touchdowns. So
Yeah. So I
um,
want to
uh,
get your thoughts on Fernando Mendoza as an NFL prospect. Because even though I feel like I should be all in on him, I'm still very mixed.
I like Fernando Mendoza. I think he works well in the college setting, but I don't know if he's going to translate necessarily in the NFL. I think he'll be a good quarterback, but I don't think he has athletic ability to extend plays that kind of make people like quarterback superstars in the NFL, like a Lamar Jackson type or like a
Yeah.
Patrick Mahomes.
Yeah, I mean, he sits still and takes it. I see a lot of, I would say in terms of like, I kind of see Alex Smith a bit in terms of like the
Hmm.
toughness, a little bit of Matthew Stafford and toughness. I'm not saying he's gonna be good as those guys, but you know, Mendoza, like, it's just I want to believe it. It's just I'm gonna be honest. I don't know if there's any starting quarterbacks in this draft. Next year's draft is gonna be very good, but
Hmm.
I just
Is I think after what I've watched, I think I would rather have Trinidad Chambliss. I know this is coming
oh
off like
100
maybe a
me
little bit of
I would
recency
say
biases,
me as well.
but yeah, I think the what I really like about Mendoza is his kind of ability to he's kind of like a study freak in a sense. Like he's gonna really put in the work and the game plan to beat a team, but um that's his edge as a quarterback versus like Trinidad Chambliss. He has just like a raw athletic ability to extend plays, and
Mhm.
that's how he makes his difference on the field
Mhm.
in a sense, I guess.
Yeah, and I think this Indiana roster is still a bit underrated. I know it sounds crazy because they're in the semifinals now and they're favored to go to the national championship, and they're probably and I think they're the
Hmm.
favorite to be the national champion. But I still feel like, I mean, man, like I feel like it's more of the roster kind of lifting up Mendoza than him lifting up everybody else. I feel like it's kind of a group effort here. Because then, I mean, that Indiana
Yes.
defense, I mean, they got probably at least 5 or 6 starters that will be playing in the NFL.
Oh yeah.
Um, but yeah, just any final thoughts on this game? I know there's not much to talk about because it was a splattering, but
I think just their defense was playing out of their mind, and I think Indiana is the best coach team in the playoff right now.
oh, 100% the best coach team in college football. All right,
Yeah.
moving on, Oregon beats Tech, shuts Texas Tech out. Wasn't
Hmm.
competitive at all. I mean, if I don't even think
No.
Oregon played their best. If they played better, they probably would have won like 45-0. But it was a little sloppy at first. And this was, in my opinion, I was way wrong about this game. I thought Oregon would win, but I thought this would be the game of the week. I really did. I thought,
Yeah.
it was a great matchup. Texas Tech, probably the best defensive line in college football after the Miami game. We're like, yeah, Miami's kind of the best defensive line, but I was like, people kept saying, Texas Tech hasn't seen a team like Oregon in terms of the physicality. I'm like, well, if you look at Oregon outside of Indiana, they haven't seen a team like Texas Tech, but this game to me it just proved the difference between the Big Ten and the Big 12. Because I mean, I think it's kind of obvious at this point the Big Ten's better than the SEC. I know people don't want to admit it, but if you look
Hmm.
at who's left in the playoff right now, um, two Big Ten teams, one SEC, one ACC. But Miami's built like an SEC team. They just play in the ACC.
And ACC.
But I mean, the Big Ten, I mean, the gap between the Big Ten, the SEC, and everybody else. I mean, it's just like, I mean, I really thought Texas Tech was legit. I mean, but they looked like a joke. They couldn't even compete.
The Oregon defense just put their hand on Texas Tech. They just couldn't get anything going. And I want to say the Oregon offense kind of started out kind of pretty sloppy, pretty slow too. And for them to win 23-0 is just again another great testament to the Dan Lanning defense.
Yeah, no, I mean that, and I mean, and I give credit to them. They're doing it with both coordinators leaving too, which kind of brings me
Hmm.
to the Oregon Indiana matchup. So I said, Oregon Indiana make it to the semifinals. I thought both of them make it, but I originally picked Oregon to go to the national championship for Indiana in my playoff predictions. But I was thinking about it. The transfer portal opens today.
Okay,
Both of Oregon's coordinators going to other
we're
schools.
going out.
Yeah, the Oregon DC's Tosh, he's going to Cal. The Oregon OC is going to Kentucky, and I'm already seeing Sam Levitt to Kentucky, like rumors, stuff like that. Both those teams are going to be heavy transfer portal, especially Kentucky. I'm a little worried, similar to what happened with Ohio State and Brian Hartline, where Ryan Day ended up having to call the plays. What if, the both coordinators are 1 foot in, 1 foot out? I know Dan Lanning said there's nothing to worry about, but Indiana, their coordinators, they're locked in. They're not going anywhere.
Right.
But that is my only concern because it's just, I it,
I think after what I saw with the Oregon offense and what the Indiana defense did to Alabama, um I think Indiana wins this game. I think Indiana wins that game. Hopefully it's I think it'll be like I think the Indiana defense will control the game, but I would like to see the Oregon offense like put up a fight. But I think Indiana kind of wins outright.
yeah, so I would agree with that. Just the only thing is, you know, Indiana beat Oregon earlier in the year, and it is very hard to beat teams twice. I mean, look what happened with Bama, Georgia this year, Oregon, Ohio State last year.
Hmm.
That if they hadn't played this season, I'd be like Indiana wins this no problem, especially with the coordinators factored in. But
Yeah.
I don't know, like it's really hard to envision me Oregon, especially Dan Lanning losing to the same team twice, even though Indiana's a 4 point favorite in this game. And, they probably do have they're the better coach team. They have less distractions. Um, but, in my opinion, this is kind of like listen, when they beat Ohio State in the Big Ten championship, even though
Hmm.
Ohio State put 110% effort in, everyone's like, oh, Ohio State didn't care. Ohio State was on a high. Now Indiana's on a high because for all the casual college football fans, Indiana beating Alabama.
That's insane.
Yeah, that's insane. For like, I mean, me and me, we've been watching all year, so we're like, yeah, we saw this one coming, not, splattering. But
Right.
I said Indiana would win like 31-17. And I said Indiana would win 31-17, but Bam would score a late touchdown to make it 31-17. But it's just I don't know. I think as of right now, I mean, I'll pick Indiana, but this could
Right.
change easily. Like, I'll probably end up picking Oregon, honestly, but I mean, the winner of this game wins the national championship. Um,
I I think it'll be a good game. And I'm excited to watch that game. I think um, it'll be two great defenses playing each other. Uh, and it's on both offenses to step up, really.
Mhm. Yeah, and I think what people forget is, or Indiana beat Oregon 30-20 in Austin, but one of Oregon's touchdowns was whatchamacallit, a pick six. So
Hmm.
and Oregon scored 13 points on Indiana. I know people were kind of shitting on Ohio State for being like, look at their points against these big teams. Indiana allowed 13 offensive points to Oregon, 13 offensive points to Ohio State, um, 3 offensive points to Alabama. So, and the three good teams they played this year, they've
Hmm.
allowed, I mean, they can't control their Big Ten schedule. I mean, I don't really harp on them for their like, for example, like Illinois was supposed to be better. Penn State was supposed to be like really good. Um,
Yeah.
and I think Penn State still only scored like 20, 21 points, I'm pretty sure.
I'm looking at it right now. They got 24.
Oh, 24. Okay, my bad. But it's like, but that was in Happy Valley too. If it's on a neutral site, I think it's a different story. Even
Hmm.
though that stadium was half full. It's just this Indiana defense. I mean, probably the best in the country. I mean, I'll say Miami has them on the D line, but
I think they do.
yeah, but I mean, if Indiana and Miami make the national championship, that's gonna be like,
I think it'll be a great game.
yeah, but it's gonna be like a 10-7 type game. I mean, it's gonna be
Yeah.
whatever offense can just kind of make a strike. So, any final thoughts on Oregon, Texas Tech? I know we transitioned kind of into the Indiana Oregon matchup, but any final thoughts on that little ass whooping?
Not really. Like it was honestly kind of a snooze fest.
Yeah.
Um, but Oregon looks good. So
Yeah, all right. One more prediction for tomorrow night. In my opinion, the game of the weekend, even though it's not the Sunday night football game, I still think it's the game of like the weekend for the NFL. Seahawks at 49ers. I believe the Seahawks are a point and a half favorite right now.
Hmm.
I'm gonna be honest, I like the Seahawks and I like them to win comfortably.
I like the Seahawks. I think it ultimately, the 49ers are doing a heck of a job with, especially all these, Kyle Shanahan's doing a heck of a job with all these dang injuries for the 49ers.
Mhm.
Um, but I think I personally am a Seahawks fan. I want the Seahawks to win. Another classic West Coast rivalry. Um, and it's for the NFC.
The
It's
NFC
for the
West
NFC.
and the one seed, yeah.
Yeah. So I think it's just if Sam Donald can step up, they're playing in Levi, um, and I think we're gonna have a great game.
Yeah, I mean, I think this 40, I think we think a little differently on this game. I mean, this 49ers defense is deficit. They're just, I mean, they gave up over 30 to like the Bears and Caleb Williams. They've been giving up, points to teams that they probably shouldn't be giving up points to. Um, but the 49ers coming off a big emotional victory, the Seahawks, against the Panthers, which everyone's like upset, they took care of business. No
Hmm.
Panthers, second and started, no chance. I mean, even I stayed away from betting that game. Like, I'm staying out. But I think the Seahawks win. I'm gonna say I think they win like 27-17, something like that. I think they get, I think it's like a close game going to the fourth quarter, but I think they pull away in the fourth. And they've been a
Hmm.
great road team too. Mike McDonald, I think he was 14-2 on the road as a head coach. So you got
Yeah.
a score prediction for this one?
I think we're gonna. I personally think we're gonna have a closer game than that. I think this will be a more of like a shootout. I think this will go like 34-30, something like that.
Oh, so similar to the
Um,
Rams game, like when the Seahawks played the
yeah,
Rams. All right,
yeah.
so that's kind of
But
it. Oh, go
I
ahead.
I I think we got Seahawks in the Super Bowl this year.
Really? That's
Yes.
interesting. Um, if the Seahawks win this game, I could easily see them in the Super Bowl and winning the Super Bowl because they'd have the one seed, they'd have the wild card off, and then their second round matchup, they would probably get it'd probably be the Rams, honestly, which would not be ideal. Because I mean, let's see, the NFC right now, it's gonna be assuming the Seahawks win this, or let's just say one, so it's gonna be the one seeds either gonna be Seahawks or Niners, the 2 and 3 will be the Bears
Yes.
and Eagles. I don't know in what order. I think as of right now, the Bears are the 2 seed. So if they win on Sunday, they'll win. The 4 seed will just be the winner of the NFC South. I mean, they'll get first rounded. The 5 seed, I believe, will be the Rams no matter what. Um,
Yeah.
so the Rams will be a second round team, and then 6 seed, let's say it's Niners, Eagles, wild card. And I kind of like the Niners in that game. Um,
Niners, Eagles. I like Niners.
yeah, and then 7 seed will be the Packers, which I think Packers. I mean, they got in by the skin of their teeth. Um,
Yeah.
So I mean, the NFC playoffs is going to be good. I mean, yeah. I mean, you better hope to God there's some kind of upset in the wild card round because you do not. I mean, if you're the one seed, you do not want to play the Rams.
I mean, no one wants to play the Rams. Obviously, that's gonna be a very tough game if the Seahawks do have to play the Rams.
Yeah, and then
But
go
yeah,
on. And who do you see coming out of
I
the AFC?
on the AFC, it's a good question.
I mean, it's so weak right now. I mean, there's
Do you think the Stephon Diggs his legal stuff is gonna affect the Pats in the playoffs?
no. I mean, I think they're pretty down. And I can't really. I'm gonna be honest. I can't picture them making the Super Bowl. I can make sure. I can. I think they win a game or two in the playoffs. Um, especially that first round. I mean. I think as of right now, if they stay the 2 seed, they're supposed to play the Bills in the first round. And the in the 2 games the Patriots and Bills have
Mhm.
played, the Patriots have outplayed the Bills in 6 out of the 8 quarters they've played.
Yeah, they have.
So I mean, I think the Texans are probably the best team in the AFC right now. I don't buy the Jaguars. I think, it's more Liam Cohen and Trevor Lawrence. The Bills are just too inconsistent for me. The
Mhm.
Broncos, can you picture Bo Nix hoisting a Lombardi?
No, I'm
Yeah.
sorry, I can't.
Yeah. And Patriots, I mean, they're just too, I mean, I think the Texans are scary. I mean, I will not want to play the Texans. So, yeah, I mean, any final thoughts for the NFL before we're done?
No, I got no more final thoughts. I'm excited to see what happens in the upcoming week, especially tomorrow's games. I think they're gonna be really fun. I think the Panthers Bucks game uh, is gonna be pretty monumental too for the standings.
Mhm.
Um, you know, I I kind of like the Panthers as a little bit of a dark horse team, but I think that'll be a good game as well.
Yeah.
But besides that, I think we got a good slate of games coming up for
Yeah.
Week 18.
All right, it was great meeting with you again, Dev. And we're probably gonna do a playoff predictions video too, so stay tuned for that. And yeah, so
Yeah,
we'll see you guys.